Very good morning to all. Welcome to the webinar on enhanced HyperV Backup using new Vembu VMBackup version 3.5. My name is Manoj. I'm here a part of Sales Engineering with Vembu Technologies. I'll be hosting today's session. I see the attendees are quickly trying to join the session, so let's leave a minute for everyone to get joined and then we can go ahead and get started. Thank you. Hope all the attendees have joined, so we can go ahead and get started. So to start with, let's have a quick intro on the company profile. Vembu Technologies is founded in the year 2004. We are a private company, profitable since 2006. We have 4,000 plus channel partners and we reach more than 60,000 businesses so far. We are headquartered in Chennai, India. 70% of our customers are from North America, 20% from Europe, and the rest 10% from Asia Pacific region. Vembu DR Suite is a one-stop solution to all your backup and disaster recovery needs, catering every requirement of small and medium-sized businesses. It has a group of products bundled together, and they are Vembu VMBackup for the backup and replication of VMware and HyperV, Vembu Image Backup for the backup and bare metal recovery of physical Windows servers and desktops, Vembu Network Backup, a backup solution for file folders and application level backups like MS Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, Active Directory, Outlook, MySQL, etc. Vembu Online Backup is purely a cloud-based backup solution where you can directly do a file folder or application level backup to our cloud, Vembu Cloud. And Vembu SaaS Backup is a backup solution for SaaS applications like Office 365 and Google Apps. Adding to that, we do have some more add-on products, and they are Vembu Offsite DR that helps you to have a redundant copy of the backed up data to an offsite data center. So it helps you to set up an offsite DR server from your Vembu DR backup server. Vembu Cloud DRs helps you to set up a hybrid cloud environment where you can replicate the additional backup copy to Vembu Cloud, so that you can keep one copy in your local BDR server and the other copy in the cloud. So in case of any disaster, you can directly perform the recovery from the cloud. And Vembu DR 360 is a monitoring and manageability tool where you can do 24/7 manageability of your monitoring and manageability of your multiple BDR servers from one single centralized portal, Vembu DR 360. And Vembu Universal Explorer is an agentless software that helps you to perform a granular recovery of applications like Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, Active Directory instantly from the image level backups. So let's say if it is an Exchange, you can even do a mail level restore, or if it's in SQL, you can even do a database level restore with Vembu Universal Explorer utility. Why we need Vembu VM Backup? Backing up virtual environments typically become more expensive nowadays, and there is also a manageability challenge as it has become difficult to manage when it comes to multiple BDR servers. So as we all know, it requires fundamentally a different approach towards the backup and disaster recovery methods, and Vembu VM Backup is exclusively designed for virtual environments like VMware vSphere and Microsoft Hyper-V by the experts in the industry. It actually fills the purpose here to be the best breed of technology in providing a manageable solution in an affordable cost for both VMware vSphere and Microsoft Hyper-V virtual machines, where it not only backs up the virtual machine, but it also ensures that the applications resides inside the virtual machines are backed up intact. Optionally, it too provides an option to perform a cloud disaster recovery. So to get deep into backup and disaster recovery, we actually need an understanding of what is an RTO and RPO. Recovery time objective, RTO, is nothing but the time taken to recover a physical or virtual machine after the disaster, where Vembu offers the industry's best RTO, which is less than 15 minutes. It can be achieved by various levels of recovery, where it includes instant virtual machine recovery, instant file level recovery, or you can even do a granular application level recovery for the applications like Microsoft Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, Active Directory, etc. And recovery point objective, RPO, is like up to which point you can recover a machine after the disaster. Vembu offers near continuous data production without affecting the production data center, where it has an automated backup and replication scheduling mechanism, and the backup frequency starts from every 15 minutes. So using this method, you can assure an RPO of less than 15 minutes by configuring the backup to run every 15 minutes. So at any point of time, the backed up data should be recoverable. If not, the backups are worthless. We have come across several scenarios where the IT administrators will realize that when performing a disaster recovery, they come to know that the backed up data is corrupted, and eventually they end up in data loss. So to avoid such scenarios, we have integrated a feature called backup verification, where the post completion of every backup schedule or once in a day, there is a backup verification happening on the backed up virtual machines in the storage of the VDR server, where all the backed up virtual machines will be booted up, and the boot screen will be captured as a screenshot, and those screenshots will be made to the admin status. So as an admin, you can simply take a look at the screenshot and you can ensure that whether all the backed up virtual machines are bootable and good to go at any point of time. And here comes the most interesting part of BDR, where it has an efficient storage management system called Vembu Hive, where it is designed to manage storage repositories of large-scale backup and disaster recovery application with support of advanced use cases. It can be simply defined as a file system of file systems, and the best part is it can be easily implemented in any type of storages called NAS, SAN or DAS, where you can automatically scale up or scale out the storage devices. It has an inbuilt version control, error correction, compression, deduplication and encryption integrated in it. So the migration between physical to virtual or virtual to physical, or between hybrid virtual environments like VMware to HyperV or vice versa, has been more nowadays when it comes to disaster recovery. So Vembu has an inbuilt solution for all your migration plans, where Vembu supports instant creation of VMDK, VHD and RAW files of the backed up physical or virtual machine, so that the users can instantly start migrating the machines like V2V, V2P or V2B instantly without doing any manual restores or workaround. So this is the architecture of Vembu VMBackup, where Vembu DR server is where you actually have the storage connected. The Vembu VMBackup will act as a proxy between the VMware and HyperV environment, where it will back up the data to the Vembu BDR backup server, and from the BDR server you do have an option to replicate to an offsite data center using Vembu offsite DR, or alternatively you can also replicate the data to our cloud, Vembu cloud, using Cloud DR. Vembu portal is where you can manage all your billing and invoices, and the licenses required to the Vembu BDR server will be automatically supplied from your Vembu portal account. To speak more about the HyperV Backup using Vembu VMBackup version 3.5 is like the host level HyperV Backup is designed to protect Microsoft HyperV servers in Vembu VMBackup, and Vembu has developed its own proprietary drivers to back up the HyperV virtual machines in an efficient manner, especially up to 5x improvement in performance over the other backup softwares. So the HyperV Backup use application-specific VSS writers to take consistent snapshots of the highly transactional applications like Exchange Server, SQL Server, and it could even perform the log truncation of the transactional logs during the backup job. It has flexible and configurable retention policies, backup of multiple virtual machines in a single backup job, or an option to create multiple backup jobs with a group of virtual machines is supported, and hot backup ensures zero VM downtime, and Vembu VMBackup do supports Hyper-V cluster shared volumes. So the Hyper-V Backup is purely agentless, where on the Vembu BDR backup server itself you can configure the backup. There is no need to manually go and install an agent manually inside each Hyper-V host server. So you can simply add the Hyper-V host server credentials on the Vembu BDR server console itself, and this Vembu VMBackup will act as a proxy between the Hyper-V and the Vembu BDR server. It actually encrypts and compresses the data and sends only the encrypted compressed data to the BDR server, where it is deduped and stored in the storage repository using Vembu Hive file system. So this is how a full backup happens on the Vembu VMBackup Hyper-V Backup. So whenever a backup request comes, it immediately makes a VSS it initiates a VSS snapshot, and all the VMs configured for the backup will be added as a component to the VSS, and it will squeeze the IO so that it ensures the consistency of the virtual machines. And once the virtual machines comes to a consistent state, the VMs will be backed up by reading the .vhd or vhdx files, And once the backup is completed, the VSS snapshot created will be deleted, and backup success acknowledgement will be provided. So this is a simple mechanism of how HyperV backup happens in the Vembu VMBackup. So this is a very important feature when it comes to HyperV backup using VMBackup. So Vembu has its own CBT drivers to track the changes. So what happens is the Vembu CBT drivers will start tracking by capturing the IO, and it will log the changed block information in a bitmap file. So during the backup job, it will refer the bitmap file, and only the changed blocks will be efficiently backed up. So thus it creates an improved incremental, and the performance and the consistency is comparatively 5x better than the other backup softwares. To highlight the features in Vembu VMBackup 3.5 is it has purely an agentless HyperV and VMware backup mechanism, where on a single centralized server console itself you can configure backups, manage backups, perform disaster recovery. Everything can be done on the single centralized console, where you can directly add the HyperV host server credentials on the BDR server console itself. Once it is added, and Vembu integration service will be automatically pushed to the HyperV host server, and it will just help you to configure the backups of the desired virtual machines. And it also has an extensive support for virtual machines in SMB storage. All you need to do is to add the SMB file server to the host list to back up the VMs in the SMB's file server as storage. So how we can perform a quick recovery of the virtual machines using Vembu VMBackup is like, let's say all the backed up virtual machines are in the Vembu BDR server storage in Vembu Hive file system. It instantly creates a Vembu BDR virtual drive where it has the VHD, VMDK, VHDX files instantly of the backed up virtual machine. So depending upon the environment where you want to perform the recovery, to go ahead and grab the required file, and it will just perform the recovery instantly. Say like in a minute or a couple of minutes, you can see the machine up and running on the desired environment. So these are all the highlighted features of HyperV Backup using Vembu VMBackup version 3.5. Now what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna show you how we can directly configure HyperV Backup using Vembu VMBackup version 3.5, and what is the process involved in it. So this is a single standalone product console of Vembu DR Suite version 3.5, where you can configure backup, manage backup, perform recovery. Everything can be done from the single centralized console. So when I want to configure a HyperV backup, I need to go and select backup Microsoft HyperV. And once I select Microsoft HyperV, the very first step is like I just need to add my HyperV host server credentials on the BDR server. So all I need to do is just click on add HyperV server. So select whether it is a standalone HyperV host or a SMB host, and then click next. So here provide the host name or the IP address of the HyperV host server with the user access credentials. Once it is added, once when you save the credentials, automatically a Vembu integration service will be pushed to the HyperV host server, using which you can directly read the virtual machines and start configuring backup. I've already added one from my test bed, so if I want to back up the virtual machines from this HyperV host server, all I need to do is like just click on backup now. So now the Vembu VMBackup proxy communicates with the HyperV host server. It will just grab the information of the virtual machines running inside the HyperV host server and list all the virtual machines running out there. So I need to select which virtual machine I want to back it up and click next. So this is where I can ensure the RTO of the backup job, where how frequently I want to run the backup. As I said during the presentation, you can even run the backup every 15 minutes, ensuring an RTO of less than 15 minutes. So this is where you can ensure that the RPO of the backup job, how many versions of the backed up image you want to retain. So this is where you can select the retention of this particular backup job. So, and adding to that, the most important function is like you can enable the application aware for the HyperV virtual machines here. Once the application is aware and aware is enabled, you can even truncate the logs using this option. So as the transactional logs of applications like Exchange are huge in size, you can even truncate the logs of the applications after the successful backup using this option. And this is a very simple wizard. All you need to do is like just review whatever the configuration you made, just add a backup name and click run the backup. You can start running the backup. It's a very simple wizard where you can simply add a HyperV host server, just select the virtual machines you want to backup and select how many versions you want to retain and how frequently you want to run the backup, start running the backup. So that is a 30 days of trial, full featured trial available for the product. So all I can say is like you can directly have your hands-on into the product by downloading the trial and just give it a try. Hope you'll feel more amazing and comfortable when you directly get your hands-on to the product. So the session is recorded. If any one of you need a recorded copy of the session, you can always email us at vembu-support@vembu.com, or also you can email us at vembu-sales@vembu.com. So if you got any queries or clarification, just feel free to call us on the numbers displayed on the screen, and you can also mail our support desk at vembu-support@vembu.com. Once again, thank you all for joining the session. Have a wonderful day.